This is the grid that the Bombers call home.
You're throwing the tee in the ground. If your hand's not shaking, there's something wrong.
I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forced to a fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding. You do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center. Word is Spike Lee. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element.
We are live at the home of long drive in Mesquite, Nevada. Alexis Belt and Bobby Bradley bringing group number 2.
Group number 2, we had a great first group. Man, that intro always gets me pumped. Kind of makes me want to run right there and tee it up.
You have some airtime on that too.
A little bit.
Do you want to hit on this grid?
Always. This is the grid that I won on the first tour of it that I had, and I'm excited to see who's going to win this weekend.
Yeah, 64 guys enter battle today. 32 guys are going to survive. They're going to hit 30 balls total today, which is nice, and then 78 to win it tomorrow. Yeah. We're going to have Eddie Fernandez, the 2-time senior division world champion, in the booth here. Eddie ended up qualifying yesterday. Longest ball of the day as well, 452 yards. And we just got another update from Seamus. I mean, the wind's starting to pick up, 61 degrees, 12 miles per hour, southwest wind, but if it hits the back of the fence,
it's a tie.
Yeah, it's going to be a tie, 476 yards. So it's kind of like a hurricane. They're predicting a storm, and the storm is going to be a lot of wind.
We saw the difference from 6 miles an hour to 9 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You had a good 10 yards difference. Now we're at 12. We're going to see a lot of balls going really far. 400 is not going to be that far today.
Yeah.
But we have a great group coming up. We've got Colton Casta, who's been hitting it very consistent, always someone to watch out for. One of my favorites, Jacob Galladay, who I think might be the best dressed.
Yeah.
Might
so
be
it's like the fine line. Jacob's definitely the best dressed. Well, and like you said,
Bobby Ray,
Air Joyner as well. You know, Isaiah
Joyner.
always dressed in press. And then I don't know if Bobby Ray is the worst or the best dressed as well. So they ended up doing a swap. Jacob Galladay and Bobby Ray in the final set. They actually advanced to the round of 32 last year.
That might be the secret. I think one person to really watch out for on this set right now is Charlie Levy.
Yep.
17 years old. He's out here competing.
Getting after it.
With some of the best. Always fun to see the young ones out here.
Colton Casto sweeps the first group last tournament, I believe, and then the tournament before. So Casto, a guy that I just like seeing balls in play right away. We'll have his monitor up here in a few. Thanks again to FlightScope for giving us all this data in the booth. You're going to probably hear it in our microphones. The wind is going to pick up. Right now, it's more harder left to right. Slot number 1, big advantage right now with this left to right wind.
Big advantage. Another person that's been having a really great growth of just consistency and getting better is Josh Jackson.
Yeah.
So he's someone to just keep your eye on here over the next few events.
Josh advanced to the round of 32 last tournament. Charlie Levy getting after it.
Yeah.
144 mile per hour club speed, hard pull there. So definitely has some nerves. Colton Casto, slot number 1, one of the top hitters on the planet.
We'll say Charlie already has the energy. You can hear him yelling at the ball already.
Then Hyun Jung Hong in slot number 2.
When we talk about a world tour, this is what we mean.
Oh, yeah. Hong has that nice recoil. You know, he is a gentleman from time to time that you'll see that shaft bounce off the back, and then maybe a portion of it goes into the stands. So,
yeah, you know,
which is always fun.
We were talking about earlier, you know, the difference of the shafts. That's one thing that we don't see as often anymore is broken shafts on the backs.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you recoil, I don't care how good the technology is. You bounce it off your hip, that thing's going to break. Colton Casto with a bullet right down the left side, hit a little low, and this is not 400-yard territory unless you hit a mid to high cut, high toe, spinning, a little spin left to right, and you might be able to see 400 yards, but like the flags right now are ripping hard left to right.
They are.
So 376 right now from Casto is a decent number. Watching his ball speed, it was 220, but he hit a draw into a cut win, so that's why it knocked it down. Yeah, 400's attainable here right now with these wins if they hit a mid-ball cut.
I think it's something else you're going to notice is it wasn't that windy over there on the range, and now it's getting windier as they're coming over. They're really going to be learning how to navigate the wind over here on the grid to figure out how to optimize the shot the best way.
Colton Casto, Charlie Levy take first and second. Hong and Josh Jackson are OB with 0 points.
Yeah, so the way the points break down, if you're just now joining us, is we're in the round of 64. So everyone is going to accumulate points. The top 8 move on to the round of 32. First place gets 200 points, second place 100, third 75, 50, 25. But if you don't hit the ball in the grid, you get 0 points. And so that's why it's so important to make sure that you get one shot in the grid.
Yeah, points are critical.
Josh and Hong.
We talked about it in the first group. I mean, if you're a guy that's 215, 220, you don't necessarily have to worry about OB sets because you can come back and put some balls in play knowing if you hit a good ball, you're going to get some wins. But we saw a couple guys get into, say, Keith Hawkins, a guy that was in and around 190 to 200 ball speed. And he just kept peppering the grid, and he ended up with 550 points. So, a guy that's 190 to 200, 195 to 200 ball speed, put a lot of balls in play, advance. So, OB sets are critical, especially if you're not in that 215 range, even below that, like
cut it out.
200. George Hegarty, slot number 1, Landon Gentry, David Wad, Lucas Weichel. Landon Gentry, veteran, been around since 09.
He has. It's always fun. I run into him at a lot of different charity events. He's always on a hole, or I don't know, even just in the golf world. I feel like he's one of those guys that you run into everywhere, and it's always a pleasure to see.
Yes, sir. Landon Gentry, one of the good guys. Been around a really long time, and also one of the owners of PLDA. That was acquired by GF Sports Entertainment. We always want to thank GF Sports Entertainment for this opportunity, bringing you 11 tournaments this year.
With Worlds being in my hometown spot, Atlanta, Georgia, at the Bobby Jones facility, which is going to be just an awesome space. So make sure you come out for that. It was really fun hearing from a couple of players in Group 1 as they kind of finished off. Justin James kind of sharing what he might do after the round. I know we have had questions from people on YouTube asking, what do the players do after they finish, competing, knowing that they're going to go and hit tomorrow. And he said, maybe buffets. Maybe try some buffets out.
No, it's good. I mean, he mentioned he was a little tired. The time change. And, JJ's got 3 kids, so I can only guess that he's up at like 5:30 in the morning. So he was probably up today at 2:30, 3 o'clock here. So he's been up a while, even though he was the first group off today at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So the good news is now he's got 24 hours to recover, and JJ was doing some exercises on the range after the set, but he ended up with 750 points. But Reed Russell ended up winning. He had the most points. Sam Judah looked good. Seb Twiddell looked really, really good today. Seb just was nice and calm and settled in. First 3 sets, ended up going OB. The 4th set, but that 5th set, he stepped on the gas and had the fastest ball speed at 227.
That was great to see. I think our winner here is Lucas with 338, and we will...
George Hegarty, 366.
Yeah, George. Yeah, and we will see you guys here in a second after this promo.
Everyone's different. Everyone's very competitive. We all have different nuances. We all have different things that make us a little on edge, make us a little excited. I think it's just cool to see the process from, even before the practice, the preparation, to kind of coming out here. So I think it's just a full process. So I think the cool thing is just going to be able to just see what, the sport has outside of just hitting it long, right? We have a big influence, I think, of the game of golf, so it's cool to see how we can take long drive to that element as well.
Jacob, probably the best dressed out here. Maybe Bobby Ray competes with him just a little bit with his shirtless sleeves on. It's always great to see him out here and how he kind of changes up the game. He brings something to long drive that is different, that's unique, and that's always fun to watch him hit. From OBX, I don't know if have you watched that Netflix show?
I haven't yet.
Outer Banks?
I haven't.
It's a good one and explains everything about Jacob.
Jacob's the man, a baseball player, college. He was a catcher. And really, really good ball striker, a guy that's 206 to 210. He made a semifinal last year on this grid. So, and I keep saying it. I know we become repetitive. I mean, we have tens of hours of time to talk throughout, Mesquite, Hope Sound, and now. But this golf ball reacts really well to guys that are, like, say, Brandon Flynn, 208 to 210 ball speed. And Jacob Galladay's been really successful on this grid. He's a guy that's going to put a lot of balls in play. We'll say it again. You make the final 8, you can win a championship here. So
bat it out.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Jacob he's going to put a ton of balls in play. And
I think one of the best things watching him is he's very, you might see some players that are intense. You might see some players that are very expressive. He's very chill and consistent. So it's fun watching all the different personalities here and at the World Long Drive Tour.
Yeah, very similar demeanor on the tee box to a Justin James. You're not really going to get any reaction out of him. Just going to put a lot of balls in play.
Just like he just did out of the gate. Looks like he threw one in, starting out on the left side, letting that wind take it. As we said, wind has picked up a little bit. It's 61 degrees Fahrenheit with a southwest wind blowing at around 12 miles an hour, but it feels like a solid 15 or so.
Yeah. Got Ryan Gregnall in slot number 1, Jacob Galladay, Drew Cody, Adam Sauter. Gregnall was literally got bubbled to make the final 8. He ended up having 500 points and got bounced, which
Unreal.
I said, him and Zach Holton, I'd never seen that before with this point structure where OB sets add to 0, because back in the day, I believe it was 550, and it was Kyle Berkshire that got knocked out at 550 points. But OB sets, you could still get 25 points at the time. Or if 2 guys went OB or 3, you could get some points out of that. But Gregnall, slot number 1, the pride of Canada.
Oh, Canada. One of my favorite songs there.
So Gregnall, he was just, for him, he is working on launch. He wanted to be in and around like 12 to 13 launch. So right now he's sitting at just a tad low. Jacob Galladay with a 395, Drew Cody 380, Adam Sauter at 345. Looks like Gregnall's just off to a little bit of a slow start here, just not launching it as high as he'd like. But he's got a 396 ball, and then that purely just comes down to ball speed. 227 from Gregnall. Gregnall ended up, it had the world record for the fastest ball recorded on the launch monitor on TrackMan. He ended up going 236.6 and then ended up, I believe he topped out at 237.1. So he's a part of the 235-plus club now,
It's definitely a club. There's definitely few. He's ranked number 14th in the world, so top 15.
But to no surprise, just Galladay putting on a clinic, 395, 394, 393, 381.
Look at this.
Just lighting up the grid. And really, truly, this is the crazy part. You got Gregnall, who's in the mid-220s, and Galladay, take a peek at these numbers. He's 208, and he's only 1 yard behind Gregnall. So, people that are tuning in, there's a lot more to this sport than just ball speed, and you're looking at it from Jacob Galladay, who's just lighting it up, putting a lot of balls in play. Just a little bit behind by a yard. But right now, if we don't see an underlying number, they could be within 6 inches of each other. So there could be a tie here. So this is not a confirmed number until you see that underline. Gregnall in at 396, Galladay in at 395. So Gregnall is going to take down the first set at 200 points. Galladay will get 100, but that's a huge set from Galladay. And, 4 out of 6 in play to be expected. Drew Cody with a 389 ball and Adam Sauter at 345.
Yeah, and if you're tuning in today, we are on our second group. We just started here at 10 a.m. We've got a few more groups coming today. Our open division, Group 3, Group 4. And finally today, you will see our amateur division, their final 8 coming down Sunday. We start back to see who will we crown as a champion for our open division and for our senior division.
Yeah. Eddie yesterday, 52 years old, 220 miles per hour, 220. Now, and I come back and I actually watch these. Is it 220 miles per hour or 220 mile per hour? I don't know.
Ooh.
It's a big question here. He's got
I guess it
227
depends
mile
where
per hour
you're
ball
from.
speed. I don't
if you're
know.
from the South?
Because I listen. I just like anything else, I want to come back
Right.
and improve on sitting in the booth, and I still don't know what to say. I don't know. Once again, we're live in Mesquite, Nevada, the home of Long Drive. Thanks to GF Sports and Entertainment, they acquired World Long Drive's IP along with the PLDA to bring 11 events, with the finals being World Championships in Atlanta. Day 1, open division. This is a 2-day event. 64 hitters. Bringing back Matt Nicole. Matt Nicole ended up breaking his elbow. He's doing box jumps and ended up breaking his elbow. So he missed the World Championships. Matt Nicole, who was Player of the Year multiple times in Europe for LDET. That being Long Drive European Tour. But Matt Nicole, really good hitter. And if I have to pick someone that's identical, this is Jacob Galladay. I mean, these two, Matt Nicole and Jacob Galladay, are practically the same hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be consistent.
Yep.
They're
Absolutely.
going to put the ball on the grid
Yep.
at a decent number, hit around the same ball speed, topping out around 210, 208.
Yep. Got Taiga Tozawa from Japan. Probably the greatest interview of all time with Taiga. And Griff Pippin from Country Club Adjacent. Yeah, that's so funny. I mean, that had tens of millions of views. That was so funny. Taiga is an awesome hitter, an awesome guy. And it's always fun. It reminds me of pro ball back in the day. It's like, how am I going to communicate with the guys from like Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic? And it's just so much fun talking with Taiga and having conversations with them, you know. And we said it in English and Spanish, it was Spanglish, you know. But Taiga always has a smile on his face, always making you laugh. And, you know, it's good to see him back here. And Naoto Masumi ended up getting that regional qualifier win. So he'll be at the World Championships. But right now, Matt Nicole at 398, Scotty Perriman 392. Scotty Perriman, the 2021 PLDA Player of the Year, 2-time world champion in the amateur division. Hitting in slot number 1, Scotty made a final 8. In Hope Sound. But we got the honor and privilege right now. We got Edward Michael Joseph, William Bartholomew, Rancho Sanchez, Vicario, Conchita Martinez, Hernandez Fernandez are going to join us in the booth here.
And we will have him here in a second.
Yep, Matt Nicole, 398. Good start to his 2023 season.
Catch every single World Long Drive Tour competition right here on the World Long Drive YouTube channel. The Amateur, Senior, Women's, and Open Division Championship will be available on the Golf Channel. To stay up to date on everything WLD, follow us on social at World Long Drive.
Edward Michael Joseph. Hope Sound Masters Division. Sorry, Senior Division.
Senior
Division.
Would
Just
you
qualified for Worlds yesterday.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Still hanging. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
452-yard rocket from
Yeah,
Edward?
That was a good one.
Can you talk to us a little bit about how you are performing both in the Open Division and the Senior Division, and you're playing golf and successful? How do you do it all, and how are you able to compete amongst everyone, every age, every person?
It's hard. Every time I do an Open Division event, it's like these guys get bigger, bigger and stronger. So it's like, it's, you know, it just, I mean, it's all I do, right? So it's a lot easier for me compared to some of these guys who actually have full-time jobs, and I'm able to do appearances. And, charity events and pro-ams and things like that. I'm going to Ireland in a couple of weeks to play at Adair Manor.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool for 5
Congratulations.
days. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait. But yeah, I haven't really played that much golf lately. Just kind of focused on seeing if I get one more shot to the Open division. So see if we can make some history.
What was the thing that really kept you dialed in yesterday, especially being able to hit over 400 yards?
Yeah, my training, really. But I mean, I ran out of gas. I was out here for 5.5 hours. So it's, between local qualifying, got here at 10 a.m., I hit in the 11 o'clock slot, and then I didn't hit again until 1:45, so I had like 2.5 hours off.
Wow.
So, start, stop, and it's a little bit easier probably when you're 25, and then when you're 52, it kind of wears on you a little bit. My lower body didn't want to move as quickly as it was earlier in the day. I mean, hit it really well up until the last couple of rounds, but you just got to adjust. You got to make adjustments and figure it out. You got to have some grit. When you're not really feeling it or you're off a little bit, you really have to kind of will it. Sometimes you just gotta make it happen.
You gotta talk to it.
Gotta talk to it. Talking to it helps sometimes, for sure.
So do you think your beautiful wife, Eileen, it helps with the crescent rolls?
Absolutely. Yeah, the more she burns them, the more balls I get in the grid. So
we got to tell the story. Well, right now, Jacob Galladay is in the lead at 373. Just to update you, Matt Nicole, Ryan Gregnall, Colton Casto, and George Hegarty ended up winning their first set. But Eddie, go to his house, cooks a 5-course meal, filet, lobster tails, caviar. I mean, everything. Eileen, his wife, had one job. Unfortunately, I talked to her for maybe a little bit longer. And to say she burnt the crescent rolls, she didn't really burn them. There was like a little char on them.
There was a little.
But for the last 8 years, it's all been Eileen burning the crescent rolls. Like Eileen, you had one job. Eddie cooked a 17-course meal, and you had to.
It was
had to
perfect.
So,
it was perfect.
But,
but see, you don't mention that all you did was talk her ear off.
I know I did.
So and then she
You
forgot about the
distracted her.
crescent rolls, and then they were a little bit burnt, but they weren't bad. They were still edible.
Yeah, the best part was we went to the charity function for Gabby and Hannah's charity forward tees, and she brings
funny.
a bunch of burnt crescent rolls, and
That
we
was
let them
so
sit
funny.
on the table, and people were crushing
Actually
these
eating
things.
them. They were eating them. That was hilarious.
Galladay,
Ooh.
$3.99.
Yeah, I was just watching that swing. He makes a really good move at it. Jacob, he moves really, really well.
Well, we talked
Good
about
golfer too.
Yeah, Matt Nicole and Jacob Galladay are practically the same hitter, and they just went 399 and
Exactly.
398.
Yep.
So, all right, you went 452. Well, I saw you go 220 in your last set, but what was the ball flight that you hit that went 452?
A little bit higher. I hit it just a smidge higher on the face, and it was 217 ball speed.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to be a bomb, just because with this golf ball, it's like if you hit it a little bit higher on the face,
Yep.
it launches a little bit higher. It probably had 1900 or 2000 spin, somewhere 1900 I would guess, and it just floats. It's one of those floaters that just goes out. I'm like, ooh, that is deep. So
You only beat me by 37 yards.
oh man,
That was fun, though.
That was
Just
a good one.
this is the best grid in the world, and it was
Yeah.
just fun. Just to I hit 3 sets just to kind of mess around, but yeah, like you get the competitive juices flowing. It was a lot of fun. But
It is.
I'm only 10 years younger than you, and you're
I
only
know.
30
Still
miles per hour
nowhere
faster than me.
close.
Oh my goodness,
It's amazing to see Eddie hit a golf ball. I mean, his swing is. I've been watching him hit. What was your first year? 2014.
Yep.
The progression of just your swing is so dialed in, and I mean it's effort. It looks effortless, and he's putting up
Yeah.
220 mile per hour ball speed
That's what I was going to
at
say.
52 years old.
I know a lot of people that are probably watching. If you guys have any questions for Eddie while he's here in the booth, please ask them. But a lot of people think you come out here and you just got to swing as hard, be as aggressive as possible. You've got one of the most fluid swings that exists, and
Yeah.
you can put up numbers like this. How do you do that, and what is that like?
Well, I think a big thing, Alexis, is you being a really good golfer. I just want my long drive swing to be an extension of my play swing. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to move ball position. I'm going to change shafts to change ball flight. So I'm not going to, lean more to the right. I'm not going to, I'm just going to keep my golf swing the same. It's going to be more explosive. It's going to be
Efficient.
longer, more efficient. And at the end of the day, I was just talking to Justin James about this. It's all about, making adjustments. Every grid is not the same. Every condition isn't the same. So what you have to do is you have to make adjustments on the fly sometimes. And that's why I come up to the tee box with 3 or 4 different drivers, different shafts, different
Yeah.
setups. So especially here in Mesquite, you know, conditions can change in a heartbeat. So
We're watching that right now.
right, and sometimes, you know, you feel it downwind, all of a sudden it may go cross, it may go into a little bit in 10 seconds. So that's why I come up here with you know, 3 or 4 different drivers just in case that happens. You have to be prepared for everything out here, especially here, because it's just like even at Worlds last year, it's you know, the wind was swirling.
Oh
crazy.
yeah, no, it picked up. You know, and you get these big gusts, and I'm guessing that we're going to have some big gusts. I mean, they're talking about literally if you hit the fence, it's going to be 476, and there's going to be ties if guys hit the fence. So we're expecting some big drives. Greg Null just a little off. The good news is he's really, really fast, and you know, he's hit 2 balls out of 10 in play currently, 2 balls out of 11 in play, and you know, speed kills, and it really does. And with this round robin format, I mean, here I'll ask you the question: if you had to choose a round-robin format, a heads-up match, or double elimination setup, which one do you like the best?
For me, round-robin.
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially,
like round-robin.
I mean, the senior division, you and Gavin are by far the fastest guys. And then we're seeing like Robbo, 207, 208. Even Robbo got up to 210. He's got a couple, you know, finals appearances so far today or this year. But, I mean, yeah, the round-robin definitely benefits, you know, the faster guys.
No doubt. And the golf ball really, I mean, the golf ball, you know, it benefits guys 204 to 212.
Absolutely.
210. I mean, if you're like
earlier.
Jacob Galladay, what's Jacob?
208.
Matt,
Matt Nicole, like they're the same
Nicole,
hitter.
they're basically the same hitter, right?
Yeah.
Matt, he's such a good move at it.
Yep.
Good golfer. Same thing with Jacob. They're 208, 210, 206. The ball just reacts really well to those ball speeds, and they can control it. They're good golfers. They center punch it more than most. And there's Greg Null, right? 405.
Yep.
And he's got so much gas. Even if he misses it, it's 214
Yep.
or 212
Yep.
or 215. It's like you're still gonna, as long as it's a little bit higher on the face rather than lower. I mean, he should walk through this. You know.
So, out of all the places, thanks to GF Sports, we have 11 spots that we're going to this year. Out of all the places to hit, where's your favorite place to hit?
I mean, this is by far. This is the Augusta National
It
Long
is.
Drive. I mean, it's so great. You got the Mesa and just everything about it. It's just, this is my first long drive event here was 2014. I actually shared the tee box with you in the regional at the Desert Launch, I think it was.
Who won out of the?
And
I think we all qualified.
I didn't qualify for Worlds that year. I made it. I hit it 436 in my first local. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. I had no idea. I was the first one on the tee box. I was here at like 5 in the morning. I was like, I had no idea what to expect. It was so much fun. But I got out here. I'm like, man, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And but yeah, ever since then, you know, my buddy and trainer Jeff Flagg won in 2014, and that was my first experience. And
we got to see him last event.
Yeah,
made
Jeff's
an appearance in Florida.
Yep.
And speaking about Florida, you live in Florida currently.
Yeah.
And we were, you know, talking to Justin James a little bit about that time difference. What's the difference between East Coast and West Coast long drive?
Man, I got here Thursday. It was kind of a long travel day, a little flight delay. So I got up. You know, it's hard for me because I usually get up early. I'm up between 5:30 and 6:30 every single day on the East Coast. So I woke up at 2:15 yesterday morning. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Luckily, you know, my wonderful wife said, just go to bed. Don't turn any. Just go back to bed. Try to close your eyes, and I was able to do that. I got up at like 5, which is
she
like
made
8
some
o'clock.
Crescent rolls as well.
Made some crescent rolls. I had them in my bag. I chewed on one. It just put me right to sleep.
When we were out in China, that messed us up. With the
China.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That
was brutal.
That was crazy.
It took a couple days.
Yeah, that was nuts. I remember having espresso at like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? But yeah, that was interesting.
Guys working on numbers right now. Lucas Weichel right now is in the lead at 321 yards. Scotty Perriman without a number. Young Jung Hong as well. Drew Cody nothing. So.
Yep.
342.
So we've been having this conversation, or Bobby brought up. Is it miles per hour or mile per hour?
Yeah, 220 mile per hour ball speed or 220 miles per hour.
Yeah.
They said plural. I mean, this
1
is
mile per hour or 2 miles per hour, right? I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I would think. I don't know.
We can only improve. Let's take a peek. Got Brant DeBoer in there. Eric Compton.
You're going to see Scotty switch up
PJ
clubs
House.
right here. To your point of figuring out what club works best for what condition, we started the day off at 6 miles per hour, and now we're at 12. And He got that last one off, but I don't think it's going to be in the grid.
Scotty Pearman not liking that one.
What is...
You can just go MPH.
Yeah, MPH. 12 MPH. What is it like adjusting to the wind? Do you have a specific shot shape, or are you consistent with whatever shape you have for the day?
It depends, right? Every event is different. So even if it's left to right here, I'm going to try to hit a mid-ball start. I'm going to try to hit it as straight as possible. I'm not going to try to cut it with the wind because I don't want it going, across the grid. I want it to go as flat as possible, especially in a crosswind, which I love crosswinds. I like into the wind. I'm liking downwind more since now I can launch it a little bit higher with that TPT shaft, and it allows me to have more shots in my repertoire, if you want to call it that. But
you're tuning in, Eddie Fernandez, 2-time senior division world champion.
One of the best. Also competes in the open division.
Yeah.
Just qualified for Worlds.
Yeah, yesterday.
You're going to see him all over the place. What does that look like for Worlds? Because you're going to be competing in both.
Yeah.
How
Two
many
different times, though. 2 different times. So the senior division is in California in September, and the open division is in Atlanta in October. So I'll be fresh as a daisy.
All right.
So I don't have to hit in both divisions, and I'm sure Gavin is equally as happy. So it's tough. It's tough doing both. I mean, it's tough doing both even if you're 25. And
right.
then, people are like, why don't you compete in both? Why don't you compete in this weekend? I'm like, hey, you know how hard it is to get out here and hit like 120 full-out drivers? At 25, it's hard, let alone 52.
And then doing it for both divisions
right, and
at
then
that.
do it. And, I would have loved to compete today, but I'm just, I need a day of rest. It's, it's difficult, just from the emotional, mental, and physical drain it puts on you.
Yeah.
So
mental, I don't think people really understand the mental toll that long drive. It's just like in golf. It's
absolutely.
just like, there's a lot of thought processes that go into it. We were just talking about earlier, the NBA finals are now, and we were talking about who would be the Splash Brothers of the open division. But I think you and Gavin are the Splash Brothers of the senior division.
I think so. We are. Yeah, we push each other. Jeff is. I love competing with Jeff. I always look forward to competing with him because he makes me better. And he's been doing this for. I mean, Gavin's been doing this for 20-something years now. 25 years. Mike, I've been doing it since 2014, and I'm like, man, he's a legend, and it's fun competing with him. I really enjoy it because it makes me have to hit a good ball, and luckily, I've gotten the better of him the last couple times we competed, but it's, I think I drive him too, and I think it's, when you're the favorite, right, it's a little bit different pressure than when you're the underdog.
Without a doubt.
So when you're the underdog, you got nothing to lose. You just let it go. But when you're expected to win, and nobody expects more from me than I do. I expect a lot from myself, but I don't look at it that way. I focus on one ball at a time, figuring out what kind of shot shape I want to hit, how high, and that's kind of how I do it.
Yeah, if you do your best, you're always going to be there holding a trophy or right beside that.
Opportunity, right? Just an opportunity.
Yeah, I think the best way I've ever heard it, there's a TED Talk called competitive collaboration, and I think that's what you guys do best.
Love it.
Colton Casta with a bullet, 223 miles per hour.
Yeah.
223 mile per hour bullet or 223 miles per hour bullet? I don't know.
MPH.
We're going to figure this out.
That's
223, right down the middle, 394 yards. Edward, Michael, Joseph, William, Bartholomew, Rancho, Sanchez, Vicario, Conchita, Martinez, Fernandez. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
you got it, buddy.
Being in the
Good luck
booth with
tomorrow.
us.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Always good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
Thanks.
Yeah, senior division's going to be at 12 o'clock tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time. Justine, that was not me. I did not drop the glasses.
Introducing the new Bridgestone E9 Long Drive. Co-designed by world long drive athletes to push the limits of distance. Thanks to extreme ball speed and superior aerodynamic flight. Engineered for you to hit your longest drive. Drive the new E9 Long Drive. Extreme distance for your game.
After 2 sets and Group number 2, Ryan Gregnall, Colton Casto, Jacob Galladay, Matt Nicole, George Hegarty, Drew Cody, Landon Gentry, Tiger Tozawa are your top 8. Gregnall, 2 out of 12 balls in play, but the longest ball at 405 yards to start off this group with 400 points. Colton Casto as well. Struggling just a little bit, but these are the fastest dudes in the planet between Colton Casto and Ryan Gregnall. Casto ended up going 232 miles per hour in a training session with Kyle Berkshire a couple weeks before Hobe Sound, and Gregnall 237. So the 230 boys looking good to start off group number 2 today. 8 guys have already advanced this morning at the 8 a.m. group, Pacific Standard Time. Notables, Justin James, Seb Twiddell, Reed Russell looked good. Try to find my notes here for the first group that got in. 67 degrees now. We started this morning, it was 55 with 7-mile-per-hour winds from the southwest. Right now it is south-southwest at 15, which means if it's south-southwest, it's more downwind. But the flags aren't telling that story that it's a south-southwest. It looks more west right now. The flags are blowing left to right. We still have 2 more groups after this. 64 total hitters will go down to 32. They will come back tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We got an 8 o'clock and a 10 o'clock group tomorrow, and then the open division will start back at 2:30 p.m. with the quarterfinals being right around 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Josh Jackson, Lucas Weichel, Ryan Gregnall, and Tiger Tozawa start off set number 3 of Group 2. Alexis Belton along with Bobby Bradley calling all the action.
And it's a lot of action.
It is.
This is the second group of 4 today. Top 8 go on to the round of 32.
We got some breakdowns of some of the players here. So Josh just missed out on the final 16 in Hobe Sound.
He did. He was really close.
But right now, Gregnall, we'll key in on him.
I think one thing that I got to speak with Josh a little bit is he's just trying to figure out which club is the one that he can work with. That's going to be, I think everyone has that one universal club.
Yeah.
I like to call it. It's your home. You can hit it at any event and know that you're going to at least put up some good numbers. And I think that's what he's sorting out right now.
Gregnall 219, 160. I know that he was saying he was trying to get his launch in and around 12. I like those numbers as far as spin and apex at 160. But right now, a little cut left to right is good. Taiga, 396. And look at Taiga's numbers right there. A little cut at 205. Good ball, 164 feet in the air.
Oof.
Just missed that one a little bit. That was a little bit of a miss hit for Taiga.
A little high.
Taiga's a guy that could hit 220. He's gone 220 miles per hour with this ball. So a little bit of a miss hit, but right now Taiga's at 396. Let's take a peek at him. He's at 150. So if he does take down this set, he will have 350 points. So Taiga Tozawa looking good to advance. Josh Jackson with a 392 ball. Gregnall's going to take 4th, but Gregnall will have 425 points. Lucas Weichel at 383.
You know, the women got to hit in Japan last year, and it was such a great event. I mean, one, they love the sport of long drive.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a warm place to be, and I'm excited to see as all the Japanese players come over here to compete and having them all at Worlds.
A little bit different structure last year for the World Championships in the ladies division.
For sure.
You had to hit 3 out of 6 balls in play.
You did.
You know, it was more of an accuracy contest.
It was.
And interesting format, but you know what? Someone was crowned a world champion
Somebody
last year.
was, yeah. It was actually really funny. some people had beds, some people didn't.
Yeah.
I did not get a bed. I slept on the floor. So doing that and trying to compete was a little difficult, but a lot of fun.
Would you rather hit the longest drive or hit more balls in play?
For me, more balls in play. I did prepare for that tournament for the longest drive. I didn't know the rules until like the third set.
Yeah.
But I like a mixture of both, and I think that's why we get to see what we see here.
I remember watching Allie Mulhall in Utah, and I'm like, I think she went 29 for 30 in play. I'm like, well, if this is the case, like she's got to be one of the favorites
every time.
And but Monica Living ended up winning the Utah event, but she went up against Allie Mulhall, who hit so many balls in play.
Such a young,
I would like that format.
Young player, yeah. I think that's where we would succeed. That's why we're sitting on this side of the grid. But
I mean, this is somewhat of an accuracy contest, but it's more speed. Like Eddie said, he would, he's the fastest guy in the world and the senior division. Of course, he would like to hit in a round-robin format because you can make mistakes. Like, Ryan Gregnall right now is at 425 points, currently in the lead, and he can tell you right now he's not having a good start to his tournament.
He hasn't,
but
he hasn't put a ton of balls in, but the ones that he has put in has led him to win both sets outside of one.
Yeah.
But then you see someone like Jacob Galladay that is putting up consistent numbers. He's going to keep himself in a great position. Just got to make sure he doesn't lose stamina as he's, continues to hit.
Yeah, like Gregnall, 4 for 18 to start off the tournament. And Colton started to get dialed in there. He went 223 twice, back-to-back balls. So, Colton's speed is there. Gregnall's speed is there. Tai Gitazawa. Matt Nicole still hasn't even hit in his third set, and he's sitting at 300, so he's looking good. All the ball
Jacob
strikers
just
there.
Throwing his hands up in the air. I think he liked that one.
So he had a little draw, but that's a big ball from Galladay. 209, 150 in the air, 2,000 spin. Good launch and spin. And I'm looking at the flags. Now it's more of a south-southwest. That was more downwind. So we might see a 400-yard drive here from Galladay.
And we're at 15 MPHs.
Yep.
And can't forget Charlie, who is 17 years old out here competing with the best of them.
Yep. So Scotty Perriman with 100 points, currently in second at 369. This would put him at 200 points if he takes second, but he can improve.
Oh, that ball's coming back that Jacob just hit. He started that a little bit out on the right, and it's falling back into play. I'll definitely be in the grid.
So Levy, on his last ball, took up a lot of real estate left to right.
Look at
Galladay in the lead at 381. It looked like Levy just took up a lot of movement here. But Galladay, if he does win this set, will give him 500 points. So he should be in pretty easily.
So he takes the win on that, and he takes the win on fashion. And we will see who will win this next set coming up soon.
So I actually started in 05, and it took me a while before I actually made world finals. And when I won, it was my first qualifier, and I beat everybody by like 35 yards. Nobody knew my name. I had like 14 people with me. I had like my dad, my mom, my brother, my roommate, and a whole bunch of other people with me. And they're like, "Who's that kid that just won?" They're like, "I don't know, but he pounds it." So that's where Pounds It was born. They always say the good nicknames are given to you. So just kind of took it and ran with it.
Jacob Galladay currently taking the lead at 500 points with 2 wins in a second place, so Galladay will be in. 500 didn't make it in, but I'm pretty sure Galladay can hit a bunch.
Good chance.
270 being the minimum yardage. Like Jacob's going to be in until tomorrow, looking good as expected though. Him and Matt Nicole, ball strikers, guys that are 208, 210, looking great.
We just got to see a little clip there by Landon Gentry, someone who's been in the sport for a while. Like I said, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever run into. It's always great to see him out and about. Looking forward to see what numbers he's going to put up in this set.
Casto hit one practically off the bottom of the club there. That's the slowest ball speed I've ever seen him have.
Yeah, but how crazy is it?
Right,
he's still going to be 300. Look,
350.
350 with a bad ball. Wow.
Yeah. 203. There we go, 214. Casto settling back in. It's a I say a big set for Castro just so he can get the, if he gets a win, he'd be easily in and he can relax. I said Justin James mentioned being just a little tired after the 30 balls. Guys adjusting to Pacific Standard Time if they're not, if they're from the East Coast. Granted, these guys could sleep in a little bit longer here since this is the 10 a.m. group, but
that's always kind of, I think that's a little bit harder sometimes because you wake up super early, but you don't want to have to go back to sleep, and so you're kind of toiling with that.
You kind of have to force yourself when you get in here to stay up late the first night. And I was up for practically 24 hours just to kind of get used to the time, and I was able to wake up at 6 today. But Casto 379, Drew Cody without a number, Sean Kilborn without a number, Landon Gentry with a 331. Landon Gentry with 150 points right now. Currently a second place would put him at 250, which would be looking pretty good, going in with 2 more sets to go. So Landon Gentry in slot number 4, currently in second place with a 331 ball. Colton Casto 379. 67 degrees, south-southwest winds at 15 miles per hour. We don't feel the wind too much. That means normally if we feel it in the face, it's more of a southwest wind sitting in a booth.
Yeah.
But
you know what Colton does when he's not hitting long drives?
He's famous.
He is.
Catches the biggest crabs on the planet.
He does. He's a crab fisherman. How cool is that? Maybe next event he should have a boil out for all of us.
Casto improving, 398. So Taiga Tazawa with the longest drive of the day, I believe.
Landed like that last ball.
414 from Taiga. I know Seb Twiddell, I think Seb went either went 413 or 415.
I think 413 maybe?
Yeah. But Taiga from Japan at 350 points. Colton Casto, 398, is going to take down the set. He'll have 600 points. You will see Colton Casto tomorrow in the round of 32. Big set here for Matt Nicole. Matt sitting safely at 300 points. He gets a win here. He'll be at 500.
We've had a full day today. Had our first group teeing off at 8 a.m. this morning. Group 2, we started here at 10 a.m. and we have a few sets left. But make sure you tune in at 12:30 for Group 3 and 2:30 for Group 4. And we're going to have a lot of fun with our amateur division starting off at 4:30 today. And then tomorrow is a full day as we dwindle down all the way to the final 2 to see who will crown champion for both the open division and the senior division.
Taking a peek at YouTube right now. Country Club Adjacent is in the house. The boys. They went from 0 to 1 million followers pretty quickly. They have traveled all over the world, and they put some miles on.
Just staying adjacent to the country club.
But, yeah, very, very talented gentleman there. We got Blake Weber, a.k.a. Aristotle Gregerson. Monster following, several million followers. We got Griff Pippin. Griff, he's got a nice new skit going on right now with selling used golf carts.
Ooh.
Jake Adams, and then Mark Smalls, who's touring with Bert Kreischer literally all over the world. So the boys from Country Club Adjacent, hello.
They're the guys that also kind of do the back off the tee.
Oh, God.
Right?
I mean, they've literally crushed everybody. I mean, from CEOs, executive to presidents to anybody.
Yeah.
If you've had the opportunity, they did the back off challenge with me in 2021 at the World Championships.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm like, rip me, say whatever. And I ended up going 5 for 6 in play. That was fun.
That's just what you needed.
Yeah. And the funny part is I remember the set. I go, the over-under was 342 and a half yards, and I ended up going 343. So
oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Yep. But, yeah, Matt Nicole with a great swing. It just got
to get it
super efficient.
Start off a little bit on the right. Let it fall left for him. He's in that awkward spot of slot 1.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a draw. Making a little adjustment here from Matt Nicole. George Hegarty. You got two gentlemen from the UK here. Matt Nicole in slot 1, George Hegarty in slot number 3. So
couple Euro boys living in the States. Matt Nicole out in San Diego, George Hegarty in Miami. George made his debut in 2019 in Rochester. Ended up making a semifinal last year in the PLDA Tour event. One of the guys, one of the very few that hits 45-inch drivers. So Matt Nicole with a bullet right down the middle, 212. That's the fastest ball I've ever seen Matt Nicole hit. That ball is crushed. Perfect launch and spin. Maybe a little bit too much spin, but you know what? We're downwind. 2,700. Curious to see where that one ends up, 394. But Matt Nicole with a 212-mile-per-hour rocket, that's more of like the DeChambeau. The DeChambino sitting at 212. And Bryson ended up getting up to 217 last year and finished second to Martin Borgmeyer in the World Championship. So I'm liking those numbers. If Matt Nicole could be around 211, 212, watch out.
211. This spin's just a little high, and he hit that last one, 394. We see kind of the outcome of that, but
he's going across the grid left to right, which that's the ball flight that you want, on this grid right now with this wind.
So
surprised that last ball went OB, but
think that he will take this one, but we will confirm that after this break.
Introducing World Long Drive International memberships. World Long Drive welcomes all of their international affiliates as part of the World Long Drive family. With an international membership, our worldwide competitors now have the ability to compete in internationally sanctioned World Long Drive events, the ability to earn world ranking points, plus all of the great community membership benefits. Sign up for an international membership today at worldlongdrive.com. All pro memberships include the ability to compete in international World Long Drive sanctioned events. Learn more at worldlongdrive.com.
Such an international sport. I love that long drive is played all throughout the globe, and you have that opportunity to still be able to qualify, get world ranking points at sanctioned events. It's a sport that I look forward to seeing in the Olympics one day.
That would be pretty sick.
Right? It's already a global sport.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to see this in the Olympics.
I guess the question is how many hitters would they take from each country, right?
Yeah.
That would be interesting. We're through 3 sets. Colton Castro, Jacob Galladay, Matt Nicole, Ryan Gregnall, Tiger Dezawa. Taiga from Japan. George Hegarty, Drew Cody, and Landon Gentry currently round out the top 8. Colton Castro with 3 wins. He's in. Jacob Galladay and Matt Nicole need to hit a ball on play. They're in. We saw, was it 450 get in? That was Jeremy Nowak last set. So Jeremy got in with a 450. We've seen 375 in. We've seen 500 out.
Scotty right there on the line. I don't know if you've noticed, if you've tuned in with us a few events, you see that he always wears a purple hat, and that's for preemie babies. That is what he advocates for, and that's what he hits for. And he's got an awesome son that was a preemie that they definitely have a heart for, being able to bring awareness. So
Xander.
He was out in Hobe Sound with us.
Yep. And Scotty's daughter as well. He had the whole family out.
He did. I'm looking forward to seeing her
on
the grid one of these days.
Yeah, one of the fiercest competitors out here, one of the most successful competitors. But I feel like everybody's a nice guy. But you know what? Scotty Perriman's just a really, really good dude.
He is.
So purple for preemies. Slot number 4, Scotty Perriman, 360 right now. Still working on some numbers here. Landon Gentry with a 344. We're really seeing guys that hit draws struggle with this wind. And, we're seeing a significant drop in yardages. And it's really, truly coming down to fighting that crosswind.
Yeah.
So, like, you look at Matt Nicole that just hit a nice straight little slider, as Eddie said, just a little left to right, putting up 390s. So, Scotty, who is it? Here we go. Second time I've said it today. Prototypical ball flight for Scotty Perriman is right to left. He's a guy that hits a draw, so he's going to be fighting that crosswind just a little bit. Same with Landon Gentry. Landon Gentry's a guy that's going to go right to left as well. Scotty Perriman slipped here.
And that goes back to when we had the opportunity to have Eddie in the booth, sharing a little bit about how you change, having different clubs out there, and sometimes you have to trust the setting of the club. Sometimes you have a club face that's set to help you go a little bit left to right. It's just trusting that and hitting that shot.
Yeah. Josh Jackson on his 5th ball goes 374. Currently, he is in first place. Still haven't got a number from Landon Gentry on his last ball. Scotty Perriman more than likely is going to be confirmed at 360. So Scotty Perriman is going to be on the outside looking in. He's going to have 225 points going into round number 5, which a win is going to be. He has to get a win in order to get in. Landon Gentry underline at 363, and Josh Jackson hit a cut. He hit a cut left to right. He did take up a lot of room left to right, but look at that number there. I mean, he essentially is, Scotty Perriman's hitting a draw with the profile like right to left, and then, Josh Jackson going left to right. He's at 374, and I can tell you right now, Josh Jackson's going to say he didn't hit that ball good at 374.
No, not at all. And this is what you see out of Josh, right? He'll throw up a 392, but he's going to be consistent, and he's hit at 375, playing with the wind, and takes the lead on this one.
Yeah. But, yeah, Lee Cox is in the chat room right now. Lee, I mean, him and Bobby Peterson are the best coaches on the planet. Teaching the world champions and, the fastest guys in the world. And Lee coming in talking about Matt Nicole and about, he controls his ball flight. And the fact that, Matt Nicole he's a stud, an absolute stud. And like I said, he's not a guy that's going to light up the radar. But seeing 212 out of Matt Nicole, I've never seen that before. I mean, I always feel like he's been a guy that's been, 208. But, it's a 212 with this golf ball. I mean, Maurice Allen won a world championship at 210, 212, carrying it a yard or two farther in the world championships in 2018. So 212, a lot of guys have won world championships at those numbers.
Without a doubt. He does kind of what Eddie does, which is take the golf swing, the regular golf swing, and just make it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Greg Knoll back, slot 4.
Yeah, I want to see, Greg Knoll just hit a good ball here. I want to see 4 out of 5 in play from him. I feel like he's a guy, like when he hits the first ball or 2 in play, he definitely.
He's got the rhythm.
Yeah. Now, I've seen Greg Knoll. We always talk about Utah where he hit 2 out of 30 balls in play, and he got in at 400 points. And then comes back in the next, round robin of 16, goes 6 for 6 and hits all balls 400 yards.
Wow.
So. Greg Knoll is a guy that's going to make an adjustment here. He's at 94 feet in the air, low launch, hitting a little skinny, but that was 219 ball speed. That one should be good. That one was dead straight. So we have, I got to get a video of this. I got to get a video. Got to do it for the gram here.
Do it for the gram.
Yeah, do it for the gram. This is a good slot here. That works. Greg Knoll at 366. Like I said, he hit that one really thin, really low on his first one. But this one's much better. 221, 2,400 spin, 133 feet in the air. So Greg Knoll hitting a little lower than he wants. I mean, with his speed, he can get away with it. But I know that he probably wants to be in and around 160, 170 feet in the air.
David and Hong just trying to get one in play here.
Yeah.
That's going to make a big difference.
I'm surprised Greg Knoll's 4th ball just went 366. And like I said, it might just be, a little too low. And just hearing yesterday, Bobby Peterson being out in the grid, there wasn't too much rollout yesterday.
Yeah.
But I really, truly, like I said, I feel like ball number 4 is definitely farther than 366. He hit it higher.
Yeah.
As of right now, Ryan Greg Knoll still in the lead at 366, which would put him at 500 or 625 points. So Greg Knoll's in. What's up?
best long hitters in the world have come for a chance to call themselves a world champion. It's all about power. It's all about accuracy. It's all about guts. Everyone takes the championship belt. World championship.
Looking at YouTube right now, some of the questions: widen the grid by 50 yards, place colored zones on the grid with more points for accuracy. Important to get cameras where the balls are landing. All of that's being improved, but the one thing that we mentioned in the first round robin is the fact that GF Sports and Entertainment, we have FlightScope as our partner here in tournament, but they're going to be integrating TrackMan competitions where you're going to be able to have all these different types of formats and bring so many more people into the sport of lawn drive, or just, driving competitions in general. So that's something that's going to be
coming
in
soon.
the future,
Yeah.
coming soon. So all these suggestions that are being made, I think is a lot of fun. It's a global sport, and we want to bring more people in. I know that Art did that with the LDA, having the Pinnacle Exceptional Challenge, where accuracy is a premium, and you don't have to be as fast. And then you have the World Championships, like the longest hitters on the planet. And for me, sitting in the booth, I want to see the longest hitters on the planet. Women's division, open division, masters division, senior division, whatever. But that I do like the vision of GF Sports and Entertainment bringing in launch monitor tournaments, because you don't have to set up a grid, you don't have to set up the tents and all of this stuff. It's just
and you can do a tournament with your friends.
It's instant gratification.
Yep.
Like you hit a ball, like in 2 minutes later you're gonna have. I can compete against you. You could be in Dubai right now, and I can compete against you, which is really cool. So, like I said, the vision of GF Sports is phenomenal. I've said it 3 times.
There we go, phenomenal. Back at it.
And then at the end of the day, this is what everybody wants to see. They want to see the longest hitters on the planet hitting. So right now, George Hegarty at 404, Taiga Dezawa 413. Taiga's looking really good here. He was a little under the weather yesterday, but it looks like it's not affecting him today. He's got 3 out of 5 balls in play in this set. Taiga Dezawa, big set for him. He's at 350. So if he does win, he would be at 550.
Oh.
Taiga likes it.
With a runoff there.
Yep.
A little bit lower ball. No, great ball speed. 214. See what that ball comes out to be.
Yeah.
He's already in at 413. One of the furthest of the day.
Yeah, Taiga's going to be in, without even hitting another ball. He'll be at 550 after four sets, unless Hegarty takes him on the last ball. George Hegarty with 350 points. That will put him at 450. But, John, you said John Hill asking really good questions, too. Like, what is the percentage of balls that land in the grid? I would say probably 40%, 40, maybe a little bit less than that. But, I know PLDA, they kept stats for stats.
Yeah.
But I remember last year, humble brag, but I had the most, I was 62%.
That's really good.
Last year. I think that was in the open division, and then Bobby Peterson ended up being 63%. But guys like Bryson DeChambeau, he was an absolute assassin with the driver. But even Bryson went OB a couple times last year. But this is an accuracy contest. This is lawn drive. You want to hit the longest balls on the planet.
And you just need one. You just need one to be in the grid, to be as far as possible. It is fun to go out there and pick up the balls, though, because you will see them absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
That is a great question.
But hitting balls in play, it's a lot better for TV. But the good thing about having 4 guys on a tee box is that you can kind of just see balls line numbers all over the place. So right now we have 4 screens up.
And it makes a big difference of the size of the grid.
Yeah, it's not as boring. It's boring if you had one guy up just hitting balls, hitting 6 balls in 2.5 minutes and he goes OB. But you got action-packed 4 screens, numbers all over the place thanks to FlightScope. And not only that, the guys in the booth that you don't see, all the production guys. There's probably 10, 12 people here just with production. This is a fun broadcast to watch. Alexis and I have the honor and privilege to have 47 screens in front of us
Truly.
right now. We can't mess this up.
We can't. All right, this is going to be really fun because we have Matt, Nicole, and Jacob Galladay, which are very similar hitters.
Yep.
Matt putting some good numbers in the grid.
So just putting a ball in play secures Galladay and Nicole. Casto's already in. He's got 3 wins. He's at 600. And Colton, the fastest ball that I've seen so far, I hadn't seen his numbers as of lately, but it was 223. So he had 2 balls at 223. The fastest ball recorded today was Seb Twiddell at 227. But Seb was in really good control the first 3 sets. He ended up getting 3 wins. He was 215 to 220.
Yeah, he did a lot of great work from Hope Sound to now. You've seen the work that he's put in. It's going to be really exciting to see him at the end of the year at Worlds.
So Lucas getting after it. That one was a good one, though. Lucas, he hit it a foot in the air, carried 6 yards.
Hey, that's a lot
that
of roll.
That might be like,
Who said there's no roll?
Win something. You got to win something,
there's no
right?
roll?
Mike Dobbin, hello, the 2007 world champion. So this is a good stat here from Mike Dobbin. It's been shown on past world championship broadcasts hitting a 55-yard wide grid at 400 yards is equal to hitting a 17.5-yard wide grid at 250 yards.
Wow.
Those angles.
All about the
they
angles.
Get tight the farther you go.
Well, we are coming up to final set here in this group, and we will see who took the lead in this last one after this.
Looking to compete on the World Long Drive Tour for the largest prize purses in World Long Drive history? Pro and amateur members can compete in their respective divisions all summer long as World Long Drive kicks off their 2023 tour. Visit worldlongdrive.com to become a member and view all the registration dates for upcoming tour events.
Matt and Nicole looking good. 700 points. Colton Castro 700. They're in. So let's say the guys that we feel that are safely into round 5. You got Matt Nicole, Colton Castro, Ryan Gregnall, Tiger Dezawa, and Jacob Galladay. They are at 550 points or higher. I feel safe that they're in. George Hegarty sitting at 450. We have 3 guys, Josh Jackson, Drew Cody, Landon Gentry, that are tied at 350. So big set for Scotty Pierman. He's on the outside looking in. A win would give him 450 points. But right now, that would, George Hegarty's looking good at 450 right now. So a ball in play for him more than likely will put him in.
And this is the last round of this group.
Yep.
First group of this round.
But Matt Nicole coming off a broken elbow right before the World Championships.
Putting on a clinic.
Yeah, I saw him in Utah in the regional qualifier, and Matt looked really good hitting the golf ball. But really good insight here on YouTube. We got the GOAT Jason Zubak, 5-time Open Division World Champion and Senior World Champion, giving really good input, and also Mike Dobbin, World Champion, 2007 World Champ, giving input. The gentleman that I've had the honor and privilege to sit next to call the World Championship Finals the last couple years. So Mike Dobbin, hello.
And you've had the opportunity to be on the tee with them, which is
I mean, that's
cool
a
well.
cool thing. Well, I said I've been around. This is year 17 for me, and I've had the opportunity to hit against these guys, and it's been fun. I mean, it said for me, playing professional baseball, not having a plan B, and then here's long drive Art Sellinger giving us a world championship stage to perform against, the best in the world. And
shout out to Art.
yeah, I mean, this has been a great sport to me and to many, and friendships for life
as well,
too.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a great sport. Great guys and gals. I mean, it's a giant fraternity / sorority. It's family. And speaking of family, I know I brought this up. We lost a lot of guys, the last couple years to this sport. But recently, Sergeant Jay Malinichek, double Purple Heart recipient, ended up passing away. And his son Jackson is with Annie Malinichek, Jay's second wife. Unfortunately, Jay's first wife ended up passing away as well. Don't do this often, but if you go on Long Drivers, Long.Drivers, my Instagram page, we have a GoFundMe set up for Jay Malinichek. Annie wants to adopt Jackson, and it would really be awesome to hit our goal of $10,000, if not more than that. We're almost at $6,000. So if you're tuning in right now, go to Long.Drivers on Instagram and click on the GoFundMe link. And, Jay was a guy at Long Drive for Heroes that helped out a lot of athletes over the years from all over the world.
All over the world.
So
from female athletes to males to everyone, he was that person that a lot of people had in their corner.
True definition of selfless. So, if you could help out, great. I said we lost Kevin Blankhorn, Mitch McDowell last year as well. So our thoughts and prayers are with their families. Like I said, it's a giant fraternity, sorority, brotherhood, sisterhood. But back to the action.
Live standings we have currently.
Big win for Lucas Weichel. You just never know. I mean, these guys could go OB. They could come in fourth. So right now, Lucas Weichel, I'd say he's on the bubble at 400 points.
He is. Matt Nicole, Colton Casto, Ryan Gregnall, Tyga, Jacob Galladay are in. George Haggerty is in. Lucas and Josh Jackson are right there on the bubble.
Yeah. I mean, if Haggerty takes a second or better, he's safely in it at 550. David Waugh, Drew Cody, Matt Nicole, Josh Jackson. Big set for Josh Jackson. Second place or better would put him at 450 points or higher. A win would give him 550. And I don't see Matt Nicole stepping off the gas at all. Matt can hit golf balls all day.
Kind of the advantage you get whenever you have a really smooth swing like that is that it doesn't take that much energy out of you.
Big set for Drew Cody as well. He's at 350. So right now, Drew Cody is going to be at 550 points if he wins this set. Big set for Drew.
Wow.
Let's take a peek at Drew right now. Let's key in on him. David Wad. All right, 402. Now we're looking at the flags. This is the first gust of wind that I've felt probably in the entire set. So we're at 402 now. This is one where you got to go. You got to swing. You got to get as many balls in play as possible. And this might be where you hit 3 balls in a stretch of 30, 40 seconds. This is where experience is really going to take over. We do have a big gust of wind.
We might see our full advantage of it.
If Matt Nicole hits a good ball, I'm going to say this is going to go. There's 420s in the tank right now for sure.
Josh Jackson, 400 right now. I mean, that wind is still around, but settling down a little bit. If they can get a couple of balls off right now.
That was a good gust. I mean, looking at the flags, it's straight downwind.
Yep.
407, Matt Nicole. I still feel like 420's in the tank here with this gust. Looking at David Wad's ball,
Final
a little slider
here.
Across the middle of the grid, just hit it a little too low. Drew Cody taking up, as we say, the Blankhorn pull cut right there down that left side.
Matt likes this one. 211 ball speed. Josh Jackson hitting a left to righter, which he might get an extra.
It looks like a miss hit from
distance.
him at 197, just a little miss hit from Josh Jackson, but I do like the profile of that ball, the left to right. Like, I don't even mind like 30 yards of movement. We even saw up 50 yards of movement from slot number 1. That was a big ball, and that was from Sep Twiddell earlier today.
Looks like Matt will take the lead on this one. We will give you the final update after this break.
You can compete for your shot to make it to the World Long Drive Championship. With a $25 community membership, you'll get the opportunity to join a local qualifier in your area in hopes of advancing to regionals, a 10% discount on merchandise, and insider access to pre-sales and registrations in the newsletter. Join now at worldlongdrive.com.
Right now, can you hear me?
And we're back, and it looks like Matt took the lead on that one with 407. He won 4 out of 5 sets with 200, 100, 200, 200, 200. He is in. What an incredible journey that he's had after a broken arm. Sitting here at the top.
Landon Gentry takes second or better. He's going to make it. He'll be in, which would force Scotty Perriman. If Scotty Perriman wins this set, Scotty Perriman would be in. So Josh Jackson and Lucas Weichel are on the bubble currently. Landon Gentry takes, we could have a big cluster of 400s right now. You know, Josh Jackson, Lucas Weldon, Landon Gentry. If Gentry takes third, he would have 400, but Landon Gentry takes second or better, he's in. He would have 450 points.
This is when it gets exciting. I get nervous.
Yeah.
In these last few sets.
Currently, Gentry is in third right now. Galladay safely in. George Hegarty doesn't even have to hit. George Hegarty doesn't even have to hit. 450's in. 450 is 100% in. Potentially, he could have a tie. So, yep. So Hegarty still hasn't hit his fourth set. He will be in. So Matt Nicole, Colton Castro, Ryan Gregnall, Taiga Tazawa, Jacob Galladay, and George Hegarty are going to be in. Hegarty still has to hit.
I don't know if you've noticed this if you're watching live. You can see Taiga kind of hitting on his legs a little bit. He's just trying to activate his lower half, make sure he's using those fast twitch muscles as he's swinging through the ball.
Mm-hmm. So Gentry now, he needs to improve. He is in fourth right now, which would put him at 375 points. So Landon Gentry needs to go at least there he goes, 375. He's giving himself a chance. Hong is at 388.
I think he likes that last
Taikazawa's
shot.
at 370. Galladay's at 382. Hong improving at 391.
Wind's not blowing too much right now, but they can still take advantage of a little bit of the downwind. Taiga likes that one. 212 ball speed.
Is that one going to stay in? That is the question.
It's a little close.
Taiga hugging down that right line there. Did it stay in play? That is the question. Landon Gentry is on the bubble. This would put him at 400 points, which would guarantee us a playoff. Taiga's last ball did not go in, so Jacob Galladay wins at 393. Hong is at 391, and Landon Gentry 375. So Landon Gentry, Josh Jackson, and Lucas Weichel will be in a playoff.
We're here with Jacob Galladay, the best dressed.
Yes. Hey, we even matched the glove to the shirt.
Wow.
Got to take it up a notch.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your mindset going in today. You had a phenomenal just showcase. I think this grid works best for your game. Yeah. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's just, put a golf swing on it. Let's put a little speed with the golf swing, and it looks like it's a little faster than last time we were here. So I think ball flight's definitely key, and, just look at the wind. It's super swirly today, so just kind of look at the wind and play the shot. You know how it is in golf.
Oh, without a doubt. Can you give us tips on how to be the best dressed in long drive and on any course that we walk up on?
Best dress. I think it's just get with the best companies. I think Malbon and my boys at Tangram in Japan make sure I have all the fire clothes and the shoes. So I think it's and then I got a few good stylists that help me out. So it's not all me. It's not all me.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to him trading off another event with Bobby Ray. We'll see what happens. Looking forward to seeing you in the 32.
Absolutely. It'll be fun tomorrow. Here we go. Hit some bombs.
All right, so Matt Nicole and Jacob Galladay currently in the lead. As expected, you got two guys that are just snipers, ball strikers that are in and around 208, and now like Matt Nicole with a 212. I like those numbers from those boys, but Colton Castro still has to hit. Greg Knoll is in. But right now we're going to see our first playoff. We're going to have at least three guys going into a playoff. Huge set here for Scotty Pearman, because if Scotty Pearman does win, if he wins, there's going to be three guys for one spot. If Pearman doesn't win, I mean, you know what? Funny enough, if Scotty Pearman ties with someone for first and second, he'd have 150 points too. So you'd have four guys at 400. So we could potentially have four guys on a tee box here.
Finally,
yeah.
A playoff.
But yeah, we definitely are going to have a playoff here. So huge set for Scotty Pearman, 2021 PLDA Player of the Year. I do like these numbers from Scotty. This one down the right side. Not sure if this one's going to stay in or not. Let's key in Scotty Pearman. He's the only one that can get into this because all the other guys are in. Hegarty's in. Greg Knoll and Casto.
And there's one thing Scotty has, it's grit.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm rooting for him.
That ball that Scotty just hit did go OB, ball number 4. So he's down to his last ball. Casto building 391. Hegarty 379. Greg Knoll without a mark. Hegarty looking good, too, at 209.
All right.
This is a huge ball for Scotty Pearman. He has to hit this ball at least 392 yards in order to stay in.
He liked it a little bit.
And it's cutting across the grid left to right. Let's see the height, 241. A little high. Carry distance, it said 369. So that's the first time I've really looked at the carry distance to see where this is at with flight scope. Yes, we are downwind. But they were really accurate. I mean, it was really accurate in Hope Sound. Scotty Pearman, 387. He's 5 yards short.
Last ball here, just tugged it a little bit.
So it looks like Scotty Pearman will not make it in. 387. Greg Knoll ends up taking the lead at 398. But George Hegarty, very similar to Matt Nicole and Jacob Galladay, they're advancing. The ball strikers are in.
All right, we're here with Scotty Pearman. You had an eventful day. Can you kind of take me through of what went on today?
I was all over the place. I didn't execute the shot that I had planned. It's just like everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth, and it's how you recover from that and make adjustments in a matter of 2 minutes, and I didn't do a good job of that today. So I felt like I was searching the whole day, which is not a good place to be in when you have a short time to make a decision. So you live and you learn. I mean, we'll move on. There's always tomorrow. So you got to get better.
You always have such a great outlook every single time you're performing. And I think one thing that we notice is that you're always wearing purple. Can you kind of tell us why you hit on this stage and your purpose of hitting in long drive?
Yeah, so I raise awareness for premature babies. My son was born with very early, over 3 months early, 24-weeker, weighed 1 pound, 9 ounces. So I wear purple for preemies. This arrow is for him. It's a warrior arrow. So he turned 5 Friday, and I'm missing his birthday. So.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully he'll get to get back and see Xander, one of the coolest kids out here, and hopefully we'll see him out here one day on the grid with you. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you what you're doing to support preemie babies.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
great.
What
we
a
have
guy.
our playoff. We have a playoff, yeah. Scotty Perriman, great competitor, but like I said, a great dude. And you know, me having a 5-year-old, couldn't help but get choked up there. It's his son's birthday. So, you know, Scotty will regroup. He's a pro's pro, and he will be back in Denver. But we have a 3-man playoff. 2 guys are going to make it. Landon Gentry, Josh Jackson, Lucas Weichel. There's now, you know, you got to go with the veteran. You know, Landon Gentry, he knows right away. You got to put a ball in play. There's some pressure here. 2 guys are going to get in. And it's very similar to a heads-up match here where putting balls in play right away are important. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see an OB set from one of the guys.
Without a doubt. Landon's been here before. He understands how to handle the pressure. Josh Jackson has been in similar situations before. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top with these 2 guys.
I mean, I feel Landon's going to hit just because his experience, 4 out of 6 in play. So,
yeah.
But Josh Jackson, I like the fact that he's hitting a left to right ball right now.
And the wind just picked up. I don't know if you guys can see out there, but if they put it up in the air and let it fly, they can definitely hit this 400 plus.
2 men are going to advance. Landon Gentry, slot number 1, Josh Jackson, Lucas Weichel.
I know they are.
So Landon Gentry just putting a ball in play, the veteran that he is. Just you got these situations, just numbers matter. Just put something on the board. It is now 18 mile per hour.
And Josh Jackson taking advantage of that as he's hitting the left to right, which is perfect for this grid and this wind right now.
Gentry, 387. Josh Jackson, a little bit of a miss hit on that one, but I feel like Josh Jackson's first ball is going to go a little bit farther than 387.
Landon Gentry putting another one in there.
Gentry with a bullet. I love it. I like this ball from Landon Gentry right here. 203.7, 2,200 spin, 160 feet in the air. This ball's perfect for him. It really is. As I said, for being hypercritical, he had a little draw, but you know what? It's not necessarily a left or right anymore. We're looking at the flags. I mean, granted, it maybe be a degree or 2 to the right, but that was a bomb from Landon Gentry. 415.
Wow.
I love that ball flight.
Taking advantage of the wind.
Yep. Like I said,
like you said, he's a vet.
You're just looking, yeah. I mean, you're looking at a veteran that has been in this spot so many times, and here he is just putting on a stripe show.
And if you're watching all 3 of them, look at their tempo. Look at how quickly they're hitting the ball. Landon's just easy going. He's taking his time. He knows what he has to do. And that's why, you know, he has been prepared for this.
Yep. He's a guy that is always, in his entire career, built on sets. He hits a ball in play, and then he just builds and builds and builds. So nice to see Landon Gentry with 3 out of 5 balls in play at 1 at 415.
I got to tell Josh Jackson at some point, he's run out every single time to go get his tee. We need to get him some more tees.
Lucas Weichel taking second place as of right now. So these are big golf balls here from Josh Jackson. He's got to improve, or he will be on the outside and eliminated from the tournament.
Final ball here.
197 ball speed, so it's a miss hit, but look at the left to right. Wow. Oh, wow. That took up probably 70 yards left to right. 319 yards, 3 feet. That was 106 yards of left to right. So Landon Gentry is going to get in. He had 3 out of 6 in play, 415 yards. The longest ball of the tournament so far is from Landon Gentry. And Lucas Weichel, congratulations. You've made it to the round of 32. The field is set.
And that is the final that is the final round for Group 2. We will be back here at 12:30 for Group 3, 2:30 for Group 4, and make sure you tune in at 4:30 for the amateur divisions. We will see you all very soon.